Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take you along for an unforgettable dining experience here at the legendary Picasso restaurant in beautiful Las Vegas. Before we get into the food, let's take a moment to talk about the restaurant itself. Picasso at the Bellagio Hotel. This place isn't just a restaurant, it's an experience that blends art, luxury, and incredible cuisine. Thank you.
May I put it in the back of the chair?
As soon as you step inside, you know you're in somewhere special. The restaurant is beautifully decorated with an atmosphere of understated elegance. But what really sets it apart is the incredible Picasso artwork adorning the walls. Yes, you heard that right, original pieces from Pablo Picasso himself. And if you have the chance, we highly recommend trying to get a table on the outdoor terrace. The terrace overlooks the famous Bellagio fountains, giving you a front row seat to the fountains while you enjoy your dinner. The combination of sparkling lights from the strip, the music from the fountains, and the cool evening air creates an atmosphere that's hard to beat. The table settings are incredible, beautifully laid out with elegant glassware and just the right amount of candlelight to create a warm and inviting ambience. It's the kind of place where you immediately feel like you're in for something special, where every detail has been thoughtfully designed to elevate your experience. When it comes to Michelin-starred restaurants, we truly believe that service plays just an important role, if not more than the food itself. The food, of course, has to be phenomenal, but there's only so much that can be done with the ingredients, no matter how high the quality. You can only elevate a dish so far just because each ingredient itself has its own natural limitations. We believe it's not just about bringing you your dishes, it's the way the staff anticipates your needs, their knowledge of each course, their ability to guide you through the experience without making it feel forced or rushed. The service itself is an art. From the moment we arrived, we were greeted with warmth and professionalism. The staff managed that perfect balance between being attentive and allowing us our space. They knew the menu inside out, including the origin of each ingredient and the best wine pairings, even the subtle details about each preparation. We had the pleasure of showing you the exclusive White Truffle Menu at $350 a person. It is truly an expensive meal that we would like to try once in our lifetime.
Oh, I like, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, in front of us this evening our amuse-bouche. On the right, a pheasant and parmesan croquette on top of tomato coulis sauce. On the left, our hot potato leek soup, sprinkled with toasted almonds and chives, which we drink. Welcome from Chef Serrano, and welcome from us to you. Bon appetit, and welcome to Picasso.
This is your bread. This is baguette, walnut raisin, and green olive. Can you see?
Same thing, yes, please. Thank you.
These two complimentary starters include the croquette with its golden crunch and the comforting tomato soup. What a fantastic way to start the meal. First off, from the White Truffle Menu, we have the stunning egg poach. It's a perfectly poached egg seated inside a bed of vibrant spinach with a generous shaving of white truffle on top. The truffle aroma is absolutely intoxicating, and as you break into the soft yolk, it blends beautifully with the earthy spinach and that touch of luxurious truffle. The flavors are delicate yet rich. Although the truffle adds an incredible depth, its taste is more subtle with a tang similar to garlic alongside notes of pepper. The texture of the truffle tastes more like shaved paper. It's quite difficult to describe how this white truffle tastes, but we will have to say it's similar to shaved paper with flavors that are very subtle and very mild in taste.
Pasta gnocchi with truffles. Place a little hot on top, be careful with that.
Next up, we have the potato gnocchi. This is no ordinary gnocchi. Each pillowy bite is light, almost airy, and it's elevated with those beautifully shaded white truffles. The truffle shavings infuse each bite with an earthy richness that perfectly complements the creamy texture of the gnocchi. It's a classic dish, but the addition of white truffle takes it to another level. Each bite is luxurious and the truffle flavor lingers just enough to keep you wanting more. And for the main course, we opted for the prime filet mignon. This was paired with a symphony of white truffle, each one meticulously prepared to complement the rich tender beef. The steak itself was perfectly cooked to medium rare, juicy and foie flavored. The white truffle element continues here, adding that signature earthy note which just enhances the luxuriousness of the entire dining experience. The combination of the melt in your mouth beef with the depth of the truffle is what fine dining is all about. Now let's move on to the Christmas menu. We start with this beautifully poached oyster. It's delicately prepared with a top of light creamy sauce that adds a touch of acidity and richness to complement the oceanic freshness of the oyster. It's briny, tender, and the poaching just makes it warm enough to bring those wonderful flavors without losing any of the raw freshness. A perfect start to the meal. Looks like the oyster is presented face up, and the way they do this is by having packed salt below the shell.
So you have the unforgettable tart, the mandarin puree at the bottom, and tangerine gelée in the middle.
Next up, we have the tart de foie gras. This dish is pure indulgence, rich and creamy foie gras, balanced by the sweetness of tangerine. The tartness of the citrus cuts through the richness, making each bite balanced and absolutely delightful. The foie gras itself is rich, creamy, and buttery, with a texture that almost melts in your mouth. It's served on top of a pastry tart base, which adds an interesting texture contrast. Though we found the pastry a bit on the harder side, it's a bit firm. Now the addition of tangerine really takes this dish to another level. The sharpness of the citrus against the deep earthy flavor of the foie gras, it's a bold choice, and for some, that tangy sweetness may not pair comfortably with the deep buttery earthy savoriness they expect from foie gras. While this kind of contrast can be enjoyable, the pastry is a bit on the harder side, and some diners might find it difficult to cut through and perhaps a little too dry. If someone's expecting a delicate, flaky pastry that complements the softness of the foie gras, the harder tart might feel a little bit out of place. For the main course, one of us chose the braised Australian Wagyu short rib. Just look at that, tendered and practically falling apart with just a touch of the fork. It's paired with a satisfying puree that's smooth and creamy, and roasted vegetable that adds a lovely contrast. The Wagyu beef itself is rich with a deep savory flavor that's simply exquisite. It's comfort food but elevates to the highest level. And for the other main course, we have the sautéed fillet of turtle. The turtle is delicate, flaky, and perfectly cooked with a buttery sauce that brings everything together. The asparagus adds a fresh crunch, balancing out the rich sauce. It's a lighter main course option but no less flavorful, with every element working harmoniously to create an elegant dish. Now let's get to the real star of the entire meal, the Picasso's Pear. This dessert is visually stunning, shaped exactly like a perfectly right pear with an incredibly realistic finish. But what really took this dessert to the next level was the flavor. As soon as you bring it close, you get this perfume-like flowery aroma, almost as if you're holding a fresh, fragrant pear. The flavor is just as incredible as the presentation. There's a blend of light fruity notes mixed with an almost floral sweetness that complements this creamy texture inside. The combination of the pear flavor, the slight crunch of the outer shell, and the smooth filling inside makes this dessert stand out as an absolute masterpiece. It's easily our favorite dish in the entire meal. Next, we have the coconut cheesecake. This dessert takes the classic cheesecake concept and gives it a tropical twist. The coconut flavor is subtle but distinct, adding a light sweetness and slightly nutty character to the cheesecake. The texture is silky and smooth, exactly what you want in a cheesecake, creamy but not too dense, with a touch of tartness and a balance of richness. Next, we have the warm chocolate fondant. There's also a scoop of chocolate sorbet on the side, which is a wonderful contrast to the warmth of the fondant, cold, smooth, and just a hint of bitterness to keep the flavors balanced. Although we believe the chocolate fondant and the cheesecake is pretty average, each dessert we tried at Picasso was memorable in its own way, but the Picasso's Pear was truly something special. It wasn't just a dessert, it was an experience. The beautiful presentation, the delicate floral aroma, and the perfectly balanced flavor makes it an unforgettable end to our meal. And that brings us to the end of the incredible dining experience here at Picasso in Las Vegas. From the indulgent White Truffle Menu to the festival Christmas Day menu, this evening was truly a celebration of art, flavor, and exquisite service. Each dish was crafted with such care, blending classic flavors with unique twists that made each course feel like a masterpiece. The ambience here is something special, dining surrounded by original Picasso artwork, overlooking the stunning Bellagio fountains. It's hard to imagine a more magical setting for a meal. Thank you so much for joining us on this culinary adventure. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more food and travel content. Let us know in the comment if you have been to Picasso or if you have any other recommendations for fine dining spots here in Las Vegas. Until next time, keep exploring, keep tasting, and remember, life's too short to not treat yourself to something special. See you in the next video.